Today I have got 12 new Cologne fragrances. It's actually 13 because I'm throwing in a little bit of a bonus. But I'm accumulating a lot of Cologne fragrances, as you probably know if you follow my channel. And what I try to do is maybe once every couple weeks is put together just a pure new Cologne video. That way you can keep track in one place of some of the new fragrances that are coming out, and you'll get to take a glance and see which ones do you want to pick up, which ones are you interested in, and that's what this one is. A lot of these have just dropped in the last few weeks. Some of them maybe have been out for a few months, but they are all new. So we're going to get into this list. Before we do, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. I've got videos coming out almost every day now. Remember also to give a brand new click to the like button if you like the video, and let me know in the comments which of these have you tried. Have you compared them to the original? What do you think? All right, let's begin. So first off, I'm going to go with a few that I've released single fragrance videos on in the past week or two. I'll just knock them out right at the front here. This one is from Fragrance World's top of the line French Avenue brand or French Avenue line. This one is called Arsh Extrait. Apparently Arsh means throne in Arabic. And this one is their take on Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé, which was a fresh citrus green flanker of the Ideal line. So this one's going to put you in mind of something like Sospiro Vibrato, or even Bulgari Tigar, or even to lesser degree like Louis Vuitton L'Immensity. But what it is a very green citrus fragrance with a good bit of vetiver woodiness in the base. It's definitely bright, it's fresh, it's springtime vibes all the way. So if that sounds good, I mean, this is not something I'm going to be wearing a lot whenever it's 30 degrees outside like it is right now. But come March, April, May, this is really going to shine. Again, Arsh Extrait. All right, next up, I have here another one from Fragrance World. This time we have a dupe of Tiziana Terenzi's Chimera, a rich, complex tobacco fragrance with a good bit of sweetness. This one is Giovanni Lorenzi Caesar. And man, this stuff is like next level tobacco clone. The original of this one has leather. It's got some spiciness from a couple different kinds of pepper. It's got a soil note. It's got a touch of oud. It's got a lot of dark, rich, textured notes mixed with a good dose of sweet tobacco and some spice. I mean, that description that I just gave you is like right up my alley and the kind of fragrance I love to wear. And so again, this one, a dupe of Chimera, which I have never smelled, has become one of my favorite tobacco fragrances the past couple months since I picked this one up. So you might want to check it out. And if you have tried the original, let me know what you think. How close is it? Because man, this stuff smells fantastic, but probably not beginner level stuff. Probably more, you know, someone who's waded into tobacco fragrances a little bit. This one's a brand new release from Lattafa, and I really like it. If you like Lattafa Camera, this one doesn't smell just like that, but it is in the same family. This one is Teriyaki Intense, and this one was created actually by master perfumer Quentin Biche, who actually did Wanted by Night and Le Beau and JPG Scandal and a lot of other fragrances you'd be familiar with. And it is a warm, spicy, sweet fragrance. You've got some saffron and some cinnamon. You've got some plum liqueur, giving it really just a slight booziness and a plum that flavors the entire formulation. You've got some benzoin and you've got some sweet amber in the base, really giving you, as well as some tonka bean, giving you that warm sweetness. So again, there's a good bit of overlap with Lattafa Camera, but also some serious differences. Check out my full video on any of these at the front of this video if you want to know more. Again, Teriyaki Intense. All right, next up, one that I think whenever it warms up a little is really going to get a lot of love. This is another Lattafa, and this is their take on JPG Le Beau Paradise Garden. This one is called Nadjia Intense. And you know, Paradise Garden is a green, sort of watery, fruity take on Le Beau. And so you've got this mint, you've got this salt note, which added to some of the fruity notes in the opening does give you almost like a watery melon kind of a sour fruitiness. It's actually very pleasant, and with that green facet, again, this is another one that I think is perfect for the spring, although you can wear what you want when you want, but I think spring and summer is where this is really going to thrive. And then in the base of this one, you've got that sort of coconut Le Beau tropical vibe with the rest in the line. So again, Nadjia Intense. They did a really good job on this one. I would just say in the dry down, rather than being 90% similar to the original like the opening, it's maybe more 80 to 85% because there's a little bit more of the aromatic vibe that holds on in that one as compared to the JPG. What I will tell you though, this is the bonus 13th fragrance in this video, is generic Perfumes take on Le Beau Paradise Garden is even closer to the JPG, because this one in the dry down, it maintains that like 85 to 90% similarity that the opening of this one has. And so if you just want something that is across the board closest to Paradise Garden, this one would probably be a better option, although price per mil, the Lattafa is going to be a much better value. So either of them are great pickups. Just pick your poison on that one. All right, another one that was new to me, and I still haven't seen really anybody talk about this one, but I understand it has been out for about a year or so. This one's from Ard Al Zayfaron, and this is Al Batal. And this one is actually a twist on Invictus Victory Elixir. And it's a twist because there is a pineapple note in the opening. Instead of just cardamom and then you go into the vanilla, incense, patchouli, this one's got pineapple cardamom, and then you go into that sort of sweet vanilla and dark vibe that you get from Victory Elixir. I will tell you though, the pineapple makes this one a little different, and I think the incense, patchouli, dark, weighty notes in this fragrance are maybe a little more pronounced, a touch more pronounced than Invictus Victory Elixir, so a little more darkness. But overall, if you like Victory Elixir, you're going to like this one. It's just got a little bit of a twist on that DNA. All right, next we'll go with this one right here. This one is a dupe of a Tom Ford release that hasn't gotten a ton of love, I think, because the kind of fragrance it is, I don't know, it did, maybe to me anyway, it's not as interesting as some of the other Tom Ford releases, but it smells fantastic, and it's a real crowd pleaser. People really like this one, the way that it smells, and I really like the way that it smells on skin. So the Tom Ford original was Ebene Fumé. This one from Fragrance World is Ebony Fume. And so I really held off on getting this one for quite a while, just because I saw the Tom Ford come out. I think it came out last year, and I thought, oh, it's another smoky, woody fragrance, and I've already got a bunch of stuff that smells like that, but it really isn't. There is a touch of a smoky or kind of, incensey kind of a vibe, but what it really is like a clean, fresh, soft woods and amber fragrance. The woody vibe is not that dark, sweet smokiness like you'd get in something like By the Fireplace. It's much more of sort of a warm, ambery, clean, soft woods kind of a feel. And so it's actually pretty interesting, and it's one of those you can wear just about anytime, anywhere, other than whenever it's 90 degrees outside. I'd probably go for something different. So again, Ebony Fume pretty good stuff from Fragrance World. All right. Another one that is a brand new release. This one I think has just come out in the past few weeks. I did a standalone video on it. It's actually quite good. This one is an alternative to Azzaro's The Most Wanted Parfum. This is Fragbar's The Most Wanted Parfum. And you know, this is a ginger, vanilla, and woods fragrance. There is this bourbon vanilla that's really the star of the show, and there's a sparkly ginger that does give it almost like a sparkly kind of soda feel in the opening. Some have even said it smells like grape soda in the opening, and I do understand what they mean by that. There's some kind of fruit or citrus in the opening that's not listed in the note breakdown of the Azzaro. But this one captures all of that brilliantly. One thing I'll tell you about the Azzaro, which I do have, I got it right whenever it came out, is there is a clean fabric softener vibe in the dry down. This one has that in spades, and as a matter of fact, I'll tell you, it's got a little bit more of that clean fabric softener vibe in the dry down than the original does. So in the opening, it's like 95% similar. Once you go into the dry down, probably more like 85% similar, because that clean fabric softener vibe holds on more in this one than the original. So check it out from Fragbar if that sounds interesting to you. All right, next we'll go with this one here. Now this one I've gotten a little bit of mixed signals from, because online a lot of people say that this is an alternative to Penhaligon's The Blazing Mr. Sam. But in the note breakdown of this one from Arabiat Prestige, this is Attar al-Yom, it does not have a tobacco note. And that does not make sense if it's a Blazing Mr. Sam dupe. But I will tell you that it does have a very similar note breakdown to Penhaligon's Halfeti. Now, I've never smelled Halfeti, but I have heard there's a lot of similarities to the Blazing Mr. Sam. There's obviously also differences as well, but you can find all of the notes in this fragrance in the breakdown of Halfeti. And so it's still quite close to the Blazing Mr. Sam. This is a dark, rich, leathery, sweet fragrance that's got, you've got some woods, you've got a little bit of spiciness, you've got some vanilla, some patchouli, some sandalwood. It smells fantastic, and I would highly recommend it. I would love to hear if any of you have smelled Halfeti, and let me know, is it actually pretty close to that fragrance? So again, this is Attar al-Yom from Arabiat Prestige. All right, next up, speaking of Halfeti, we'll go with this one here that is clearly an alternative to Halfeti Leather from Penhaligon's. And this is Flavia Georgian's, which is a branch of Armaf, Haute Leather. And this is an absolutely beautiful leather, oud, fruity fragrance. There is this just wonderful sweetness in the opening, mixing with, again, kind of a leathery, dark, complex, textured mid and dry down. You've got oud and leather used together in such a way where I would say the leather's probably a little bit more prominent than the oud is. It's not a funky, oudy fragrance. And I have other sweet, fruity oud fragrances that have a similarity to one another and this one really doesn't smell like a sweet, fruity oud fragrance. It smells like this beautiful, rich, dark, somewhat spiced, sweet leather fragrance with some oud that's kind of flavoring the formulation. So really good stuff right here. Haute Leather from Flavia Georgian's. Might want to check it out. All right, next up, we'll go with this one that made quite a splash maybe a month ago, a few weeks ago, whenever it hit here in the West. This one is one of the Afnan 9 p.m. flankers. This is 9 p.m. Rebel. And to my nose, and upon my investigation of the note breakdown, I think what this is, if you just want to break it down, what does it smell like? It's basically Lattafa's Kayat al-Fursan mixed with Armaf's Club de Nuit Précieux 1, which of course was their take on Absolute Invictus. And this one has that same kind of pineapple woody kind of a feel from the Lattafa, and then it's got the caramel fruity kind of a feel or kind of a take on that Absolute Invictus DNA that you find in Armaf Précieux 1. I did a video where I put the notes up on the screen and kind of did a breakdown, and so I think that's what it is. The Lattafa Cadol Fersen is definitely the more prominent of the two fragrances that this seems to be inspired by, but if you want a dark, strong, pineapple, woody fragrance, this is definitely one to check out. Pretty good stuff from Afnan. All right, and I believe this is the 13th fragrance in the video. Don't think I missed anything. This one is an absolutely mouth-watering, sweet but powdery Gourmand fragrance. This is Shagaf Oud Tonka by Swiss Arabian. I always forget the name of the fragrance this one is duping, and I'll put it on the screen. But this fragrance is kind of a powdery almond, powdery tonka bean, sweet vanilla fragrance. It smells like baked goods. It is, I would say, definitely unisex. I think a woman could pull it off just as easily as a man. And that powdery sweet tonka bean almond, I would say some guys could definitely smell and say, you know, that doesn't work for me, you know, too feminine for me. Me, on the other hand, I like sweet gourmand fragrances. I have really enjoyed wearing this. My oldest son has really enjoyed wearing this. So not a problem for me, but buyer beware. Some guys would have that reaction, but another beautiful, sweet gourmand fragrance. And this one, even though it's Swiss Arabian, which, you know, high quality fragrances and usually a little more expensive than other dupes, the price on that one's actually come down quite a bit in the past couple months. So that has been 12 plus 1 new clone fragrances. I'd love to hear from you down below. What are some recommendations you have for me? Drop a link if there's something you think I should buy and review. Also, remember to give a brand new click to the like button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.